have a theory. You can call it pattern recognition. You can call it keen observation, whatever. But I have a theory that Donald Trump has a tell. Like when you're playing poker, he's got a tell. I know I've said this over the past couple of days, but that's only because Donald Trump has proved me right yet again. His tell is when he uses the word hoax. He likes to say, this is a hoax, that's a hoax. That's his tell. Every time he's done something illegal for which he has been found liable in a court of law or for which he has been convicted in a criminal court, every time there is a credible accusation against him, he loves to say, that's a hoax. When he's been impeached as president twice, those were all hoaxes. And now this week we're seeing it again with the Epstein files. Suddenly he is calling the Epstein files a hoax. After years and years of promoting it as like, I am going to unveil the deep state, I'm going to uncover the deep state, I'm going to release the Epstein list. If you put me back in the White House, I will make sure that the Epstein list gets released. I mean, we could ask why he didn't do that the first time around. I mean, after all, Jeffrey Epstein died when Trump was in office. But at that time, in 2019, Trump retweeted a tweet from someone else, making a claim that Bill and Hillary Clinton had something to do with Epstein's death, and that Bill and Hillary Clinton were on the Epstein list. Trump went so far as to use hashtag Clinton body count numerous times over, I think, several months, which was picking up on a conspiracy theory from the alt-right that had already been swirling, where they believe there's this like string of bodies that Bill and Hillary Clinton left in their wake. They killed a bunch of people, and that's how they rose to and cemented their political power. Big conspiracy theory on the far right for quite a while. So after years of not only saying that the Epstein files exist, but that he made it a campaign promise that he was going to release the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell went to prison. Ghislaine Maxwell is still in prison serving a 20-year sentence. Now suddenly when we are finding out from the Wall Street Journal that Pam Bondi told Donald Trump his name is in the Epstein files. Now suddenly that the Department of Justice is like, nope, move along, nothing to see here, we're not going to release anything. But now Donald Trump is saying the Epstein files are a hoax. And now we have this reporting from the Politico where Trump was heard in the White House saying, they're going to accuse me of some funny business. He was claiming, it's a hoax, I had nothing to do with it, but, quote, they're going to fuck me anyways. So if you look at all of the times Trump has called something a hoax over the years, and actually there's a whole page on whitehouse.gov now. Y'all, it's so fucking embarrassing to have to look at what is on our federal government websites now. It's just the wealth of information that has been lost, the way that students and researchers used to rely on our government websites to have accurate information, accurate studies. And now it is the most embarrassing propaganda. There's this whole page, 100 days of hoaxes, cutting through the fake news. I would say along with hoax, Trump likes to use the term fake news. That's also a bit of a tell. I'm sorry to everybody who's not an American that this is the state of our government, that this is what is on the official White House website. Since President Donald J. Trump took office 100 days ago, this was put out in honor of his first 100 days, his 100 Days of Hoaxes post. It has been a nonstop deluge of hoaxes and lies from Democrats and their allies in the fake news, suffering from terminal cases of Trump derangement syndrome. They then go on to list 100 different instances where on an official government website, there's a bunch of propaganda and disinformation from the Trump regime. So I've been thinking about this for a while, how Trump uses hoax as a tell. And I was trying to search up on the internet, like, is there a list of all of the times he has used the word hoax? And then I came across his deposition video for when he was sued by E. Jean Carroll. She won that lawsuit. Trump was found liable in a court of law for sexually assaulting her. And still, the pro-family values, conservative white Christian nationalist party, the family of decency and we got to protect women and girls, they still voted for Trump again. Yeah, that deposition video. Watch this.
Fair to say, you'd agree with me, would you not, that you use the term hoax quite a lot?
Yes, I do.
CNN reported that you used it more than 250 times in 2020. Does that sound right?
Could be. I've had a lot of hoaxes played on me. This is one of them.
And how would you define the word hoax?
A fake story, a false story, a made-up story.
Something that's not true.
Something that's not true, yes.
Sitting here today, can you recall what else you have referred to as a hoax?
Sure. The Russia hoax. It's been proven to be a hoax. Ukraine hoax. The Mueller situation for 2.5 years, hoax. Ended in no collusion. It was a whole big hoax. The lying to the FISA court, hoax. The lying to Congress many times, hoax by all these people, this scum that we have in our country. Lying to Congress, hoax. The spying on my campaign, hoax. They spied on my campaign, and now they admit it. That was another hoax, and I could get a whole list of them. And this is a hoax, too.
This, when you say this and that,
This ridiculous situation that we're doing right now is a big fat hoax. She's a liar, and she's a sick person, in my opinion. Really sick. Something wrong with her.
okay. In addition to the Russia hoax, the Ukraine hoax, the Mueller hoax, the lying to FISA hoax, the lying to Congress hoax, and the spying on your campaign hoax, isn't it true that you also referred to the use of mail-in ballots as a hoax?
Yeah, I do. Sure. I do. I
And
think they're very dishonest. Mail-in ballots, very dishonest.
And isn't it true that you yourself have voted by mail?
I do.
First of all, mail-in ballots are entirely safe and accurate. Something like 29% of America's voters voted by mail in the last election. But when I ran across this clip, I was like, oh yeah, E. Jean Carroll's attorney and I, we're on the same wavelength, right? I'm not the only one who has noticed when Trump uses the term hoax, it's a big fat fucking tell. So keep in mind, Trump was found liable in a court of law for sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll, and he continues to call it a hoax. I also just wanted to remind people that every accusation is a confession from a narcissist. When he calls other people a liar, when he calls other people a nasty person. Also keep in mind that narcissists cannot accept responsibility for their own actions. They will always externalize blame. They are never responsible for any of their failures, any of their misdeeds. It is always either a hoax, or it's fake news, or it's somebody else's fault. So just keep that in mind as you're watching the Epstein files unfold. Right now, Trump is saying that it's a hoax. Again, after years of promising his base that the Epstein list was real, he would release all of the files that would expose the deep state of all of these Democrats and their secret cabal, and that there would then be accountability. Well, let's be real. Republicans don't really believe in accountability. They want punishment and retribution. Those aren't necessarily the same things as accountability. But after years of telling his base, I'm going to release the Epstein files, now suddenly he's saying it's a hoax. Is that because what's ever in there means that he can't find a fall guy? Right? He can't pin this on somebody else. The files are real. The information is real. Pam Bondi says his name is in it. My Senator Ron Wyden says we need to investigate more than 4,000 bank transfers in Jeffrey Epstein's account, where over $1 billion was moved, sometimes in increments of $100 million. A big chunk of that money was from Leon Black, who is a private equity investor. He owns Apollo Global Management. He was close buddies with Jeffrey Epstein. And actually, as I am filming this video, there is breaking news out from the Wall Street Journal that in the Bound birthday album for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday that Ghislaine Maxwell put together, where the Wall Street Journal has said Donald Trump contributed a drawing of a naked woman, that letter that's supposedly from Trump is in the section of the book entitled Friends, along with a letter from Leon Black. Also worthy of noting, Wall Street Journal claims there's a letter from Bill Clinton in that section as well. But you know, Epstein files, it's a hoax now, y'all. It's a hoax. Donald Trump wants you to forget about it because it's just a hoax. But it sure seems like every time he says something is a hoax, that's a tell.